Well, good afternoon, and welcome to a very special edition of a Shin Show. Why is it special? Well, because the three of us are in fabulous Omaha, Nebraska, doing the show live together, although in separate rooms. In a oh shit, I said Omaha, Nebraska. Shit, I meant I'm doxing us again.
Yeah,
God
you
damn
blew
it!
up the spot, dude. You
I,
blew up our spot again.
yeah, fuck. Oh well. Well, instead of doxing you, let me just say we're in an undisclosed location in a sub basement beneath a bomb shelter in a Midwestern location that may or may not be Omaha.
But it definitely is.
Yeah, but it definitely is for sure.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. It's Omaha.
Yeah, it's Omaha, Nebraska. So we've got about 55 minutes before we got to split for this movie. So we're going to do, we're going to do a tight Shin show today. It's going to be tight, yo.
Quick and dirty version.
Well, we got it going on. So I forgot to bring my harmonica with me. So to actually get started, I'm just going to, sing the theme song.
Do it.
What in the world is a Shin show? A Shin show? A Shin show? Now it is time for a Shin show, a Shin show, a Shin show. Welcome. See, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would like to recant my my go for it.
I thought it was great. What are you talking about? It sounded just like the harmonica, only with words.
Yeah, but until this moment, I didn't realize there were words.
Yeah, well, there are words, and you just heard them, so that's what they are. Those are the words to the theme song. I really need to get it produced. Maybe get Dr. Dre on it.
You do that, hon.
I don't know. Maybe not Dr. Dre. What Jay-Z? I'm not sure. I mean,
Dr. Dre is the producer there. I think Jay-Z. I don't fucking know. He might make his own beats. He might produce his own shit. Doubt it. I don't know.
Yeah. What about like Common? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing out names now.
Who?
Common.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
You don't know who Common is?
No, I've never heard of Common.
Come on, dog. Well, what about Ice-T?
He's doing.
Did you know Ice-T's in a metal band?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Doing what? Is he the hype man?
No, dude, he's like the singer.
No.
Didn't I send you that article?
No.
It was in my. I read a bunch of fucking alternative and metal articles. I guess I'm subscribed to the online version of their magazine. Anyway, yeah, he's in a fucking metal band.
I'll be darned. Well, who knew? Well, neither of us, obviously. No worries about that, though. So I guess my question to you is, well, it's not really a question. It's more of a statement. Plenty of personal news, that's for sure. All kinds.
Like what?
Yeah.
Well, like
the fact that Dad's in person.
Well, that's true. I am here. That was the big news last week, was that I was going to be here this week. And then sure enough, I arrived. So I think that pretty much makes me Father of the Year.
His band is called Body Count.
Ice-T's are mine.
Well, you did join some sort of air guitar situation in the men's room of the Red Robins earlier. So I don't know. What is your band's name?
My band's name is Flower Power Hippie Tooth Shark Megalodon.
Dude, their band has been together since 91.
You're just ignoring that. I see.
What? Really? 91?
Yeah.
What do they play?
Yeah.
Fucking
Released their self-titled debut album in 1992.
Huh.
Well, I guess they aren't that popular because none of us know about them.
Yeah.
He opened for Ozfest, or was in Ozfest on 2018.
No, obviously Ice-T's.
I'll send y'all a link.
Ice-T's a man of many talents.
Apparently so.
Oh, no question. Had a great guest appearance on Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah, he did.
When they got swifty with it.
Also regularly on SVU.
Yeah.
Law and Order.
Yeah, he's a recurrent character. In fact, he's one of the main characters. He's one of the cops. Mm-hmm. And, of course, he had that great Ice-T commercial for Geico.
Yeah. It's iced tea, man. No, wait, no. It's lemonade, man.
Iced tea. No, it's lemonade. Anyway, you obviously didn't see that. Was that for Geico? I think it was.
I think so.
You know who he would really be an excellent spokesperson for? That's right, Zeff's. Fine dining and relaxed continental atmosphere right down there in Invercargill, New Zealand. Southernmost point on the southern island of New Zealand, southernmost restaurant in the southern hemisphere. That means it's the southernmost restaurant in the world, featuring koala foot sandwiches and plenty of fried koala tendons. Not tendons, tendies, kiwi tendies. Yeah, anyway, full menu. You can check them out online. It's Ziff's. Proud sponsors of a Shin Show for, gosh, probably at this point, Oh,
At
maybe
least 100th of a billionth of a century.
no question about that. Long time, relatively speaking. In any event, no, you have some super personal news, Sarah.
I do.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
There was a triple homicide in the neighborhood last night.
What?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
a triple homicide and a missing person.
What?
There was a murder, most foul.
Okay, details, please. How did you
Well,
hear
you
about
see.
this? Where in the neighborhood?
In my backyard.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Not of people.
No, it's murder most foul. So yeah.
Ah, most foul. Like, the puns are rolling in. You guys
Uh-huh.
keep rolling out the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
Murph told me about that.
Oh, did she? Well, yes.
Wow,
So for
mentioned it.
our single listener, Chris, we had a fox get into the chicken coop this morning.
Fox in the hen house.
Yeah. Classic.
There was a fox in the hen house and made off with 50% of our flock. So there was a buff at the end of the stairs. There was a barred rock in the corner, and then there was a barred rock in the front yard. And then there was an Americana missing for a while, but he showed back up. So
yeah. So when you say barred rock, that's obviously a flavor of chicken. Well, not really a flavor. It's a breed.
A color. It's
Oh,
a
I see.
coloring.
Yeah.
Well, what's the word? A species, maybe? I don't know if species is the right word, but
No, it's probably a breed. Chicken
breed. Yes, there you go. Yeah. So, and then we used our security cameras, which we have, to find out what kind of animal did the deed.
Yeah.
And
So
it was fox.
yeah, that's the high-tech portion of the story where the murderer was identified via video evidence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
video
we did
evidence.
detective our way to the suspect.
Frame by frame enhancement.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
And
it's
fucking bold as anything, though. Wasn't sneaking. Did it right at daylight, right as the sun was coming up at about 6 or 7 this morning. I can't remember. My timestamps are off on the cameras.
Well, he was hungry.
So.
He wanted a working man's breakfast. Couldn't exactly get
well,
the
but he
slam at
he
Denny's.
left. he didn't take any of the bodies. All he did was eat the heads. So
I've heard of this
fucking-
thing where foxes get the I can't remember what the term for it is, but the fucking hen house, they get frenzied. Like when it's around they get in the fucking coop and there's a bunch of chickens there, they'll just kill them because they start killing them. You know what I mean? He's not going to eat them all. He just starts killing them and gets into a
He didn't
frenzy.
eat any of them, though. That's the thing. He took their heads, and that was it.
Well, maybe he liked their brains, like a walnut pate type situation.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you what's happening is that that fox has got to go.
Chicken brains.
yeah. Fox in the hen house is what it is.
The moral of the story is that we identified the suspect and now have a warrant out for his arrest.
Well, good. And when you say arrest, it's really arrest, capture, dead or alive, right?
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
You want him alive, don't you? I can tell. You're a tender-hearted
Well,
soul.
Well, I mean, he didn't massacre 3 of your chickens, 4 or 5 of them. So,
I've we've live trapped
Chicken for
foxes
chicken.
before and let them go. So that's not outside our wheelhouse. But,
okay, but that clearly didn't work.
well, it doesn't have. It could be a different fox.
Sarah, you need to send a message. You need to crucify
to the
that
fox community.
Yeah.
The issue is, as it were, is I don't know if that's legal in these parts.
I don't know if biting heads off chickens is legal in these parts.
What I could do is live trap
legality.
it and what I could do is live trap it and give it to the Humane Society. Have them come pick it up. They'll do that.
Wouldn't that fox just love that? Just getting away with murder, you know?
Well, but it is a kill shelter, so
3 square meals
he might
a
not
day.
get away with shit.
Oh, so you're talking about putting him on death row, basically.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
True justice system style.
Well, then you ought to just save yourself the trouble and just, strap them down to like a plank or a board or something and jump off your deck with 2 steel-toed Timberlands on just onto its head. You know what I mean?
no, I don't know what you mean. That
Straight
sounds
on down.
it sounds exceptionally cruel for the crime. I mean, he was just
Okay,
being a
all right.
fox.
All right. Look, what would be exceptionally cruel would be to skin him alive, okay?
God almighty.
Jumping
This is going-
directly onto his head and killing him instantly is not exceptionally cruel. How would that be any different from a bolt gun?
Well, I think it would be different because with
Okay, it's physically different, but I'm just saying the rate at which its brain is tarnished to nothing is the same,
Yeah, or I could just live trap it and let the fucking
Yeah, you should do that.
animal
You should do
authorities
that.
take care of that
Just
shit.
do that. I'm just spitballing here. I was
Yeah.
just blue skying this thing, and it felt right at the time. Just do your thing.
Yeah, well, we got a whiteboard right over here. We can just kind of drop some ideas, but I
Don't
think you're
touch
right
that.
about that.
The touch, it's already fucking tarnished now.
Yeah, it
Well-
is.
Don't touch it any further.
All right, very good. Well, yeah, I know you got some big ideas up on that thing. We don't want to mess them up.
did.
Yeah. So sorry about your loss, frankly. But here's what I don't understand: how can you use how is it that you have a better video system in your backyard than you do at your work?
Well, you see, the thing about it is that I don't fucking know, man.
That's what I thought.
Although I gotta say, we did upgrade our camera system at work, so
Oh, really?
watch out, murderers.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. After the fact.
Yeah. This is a classic closing the chicken hen house door after the fox has already been in.
Right.
Yeah. Although, again, I reiterate, it wouldn't have fucking mattered because he did it at daylight. Like, usually the killings happen in the wee morning hours or in the night.
Are we talking
So-
about the fox here? I think.
Yes.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think Nick's right on, man. He probably tried to go to Denny's first. They carted him. I mean, oh, you're a fox.
Dude, I
Eric.
read this.
Yeah.
I read this little book, and I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was from the point of view of a fox. I think it was Fox 23 is what it was called. It was a short little thing, but it was about a fox from a fox's point of view and how its habitat was being destroyed as they put in a shopping mall. So it was.
Well, yeah. I think I remember that. Didn't they make a movie out of that starring George Clooney?
Are you?
Oh, I'm thinking of the Fantastic Mr. Fox. but
Yeah.
it seems like there was some subplot where they were putting in a shopping mall there.
I don't know. I haven't watched that movie.
That's very entertaining. Wes
I was
Anderson.
gonna say it's supposed to be good. So
Yeah, you can't go wrong with it. Any Wes Anderson film's right up there.
There
All
you
right,
have it.
fine. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know who that is.
It's a director, very famous director. He's done such things as The Hotel Budapest,
Nope.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou,
Sure.
The Royal Tenenbaums. None of this is ringing any
Nope.
chimes. Isle of Dogs, another
I
animated.
did watch that one. That one I did watch.
That's a Wes Anderson film.
Okay.
All right, good. We have
Bryan
some,
Cranston was in that one. That's
Yeah.
all I can tell you.
We have some common ground now. That's good. That's the important thing. So much for your personal. Well, wait a minute. That's not the end of your personal news. Far
Oh
from it.
shit! There's more.
Oh hell yeah, there is. I just watched you and Sarah Murphy trying to, tap a maple tree.
Oh, that's true. We're trying some things out, trying to see if we can make some maple syrup out of our maple trees just for
You're
gigs.
you're doing some urban farming. It's pretty impressive.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think it's very impressive. In fact, I've never tried to make maple syrup, but I'm sure once you actually get the right size drill bit and really drill into that tree, just really deep, and then watch all that tree blood dripping into the pail, it's going to be a thing.
It's
of
going to be
beauty.
delicious.
It is. I like pancakes. So tasty. All right, so that's your personal news. Nick, I know you've got some personal news. No, you do.
Yeah, I turned 6 yesterday.
Yeah, it was a special day. Turned 6. It's a leap year thing.
Happy birthday,
And so
part 2.
happy birthday, part 2. Because part 1 wasn't good enough, here's part 2 for you. And so on and so forth. All right,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, we're good on that.
yeah,
Good
it's a-
on that.
Same level as enthusiasm as usual. Well, my personal news involves the fact that I came to Omaha to see my kids. Kind of big news there. So
It's a kind of a big deal.
it happens but once a year, that's for sure. Well, actually twice a year, sometimes 3 times. But certainly it's the first time in 2020.
That's true.
Hey, so y'all been washing your hands?
Yeah.
You
Y'all
don't
got
want-
me kind of freaked out.
Yeah, you're going to want to keep washing them hands pretty regular.
Why? What's happening?
Dude, coronavirus is happening.
Well, yeah, but what? That's in Omaha now?
Well, I don't know.
Yes, actually, we for sure know it's in Omaha because we have the UNMC or whatever has that
Okay.
bio containment unit.
You know,
Yeah.
that's funny. I just got an email from my other job about coronavirus.
Really? And what did it say?
Yeah, it's like, it's a scary time for everybody. Fucking, I just got it.
Oh, you're going to read it to us. That's good.
Well, I'll just skim it.
Why not?
Yeah, skip ahead, brother. Give me the highlights.
Yeah. Letter to the family on COVID-19.
Dear family.
Yeah. I know a lot of you are concerned about the reports you're seeing about coronavirus. This is not a time to panic.
No, it's just a time to be very
I
scared.
want to reassure you that we have a total commitment to franchisee, employee, and guest safety.
Oh, total commitment.
And then a bunch of shit here. Like a whole bunch of shit. Yeah.
But the bottom line is wash your fucking hands, okay? Wash your hands real good. Wash them many times.
There's a lot of people have made a full recovery of coronavirus, though, right?
Oh, of course, no one's suggesting that it's anything but completely recoverable disease, because it's a completely recoverable disease for, 98% of people. It's those 2%, though. I'd say that. I mean, that's what the media is reporting. That's what the science is reporting, that it's actually, the actual death rate's around 1%. So, for most people.
However, that is way, way, way more than the common flu, which is like 0.01%.
Yeah, or 0.1%, something like that. Either way, it's considerably more hazardous to your health than influenza.
Although still.
Right, in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, I'll take that chance. 1%'s all right.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? You're going to take the fucking chance either way. When a plague rolls around, you got no choice, so.
Yeah. Of course, we have certain advantages that they didn't have in the 13th century or 14th century.
Well, yeah.
God, thank God.
Yeah. I mean, knowledge of soap, understanding what causes the disease.
Not throwing our shit, like our feces in the streets, and like just walking around in it and shit.
Yeah, super helpful there. That's not...
It's the little things.
Yeah, it is literally the little things. It's microbes. That's
How
my
big
definition.
do you think bacteria are?
Oh, they're tiny. And this is a virus anyway, which is tinier still. I mean, viruses live in bacteria, I think. That's how small they are.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but in any event, so the last week has seen, a huge market sell-off, and and then so on. Yeah.
There's some panic happening.
Oh my gosh, yes. But not here. No, it's all good. Yeah, I'm getting a note from our other regular podcast participant that she, didn't get a notice. I don't know why.
Well, you know what? Hop on in. If you can't make it, you can't make it. These things happen.
Yeah, they do happen.
And they did happen quickly.
Yeah. So check it out. There's an Ask Reddit that I saw the other day called "What are some ridiculous history facts?"
Okay.
And here's my favorite one. And Dad, feel free to contribute to this.
All right, very good.
Not to this specific anecdote here, but just if you have any ridiculous history facts off the top of your head. But first, when the Romans laid siege to Themyscira,
sure,
a real place, weirdly enough, because that's Wonder Woman's hometown, they attempted to tunnel into the city, so the Themyscirans released bears into the tunnels.
Far out, man.
Yeah, that's like a cartoonish solution,
Right. You think they could have, just go ahead and like collapse the tunnel?
Yeah,
or something?
collapse the tunnels, pour some shit in there, some water in there, like prairie dog style,
Yeah, ratchet back on the bears.
Yeah, but bears,
Very terrifying.
That's something I would do for sure. If I had like a bunch of bears just on standby.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the truth is that the history of warfare is absolutely filled with, hey, what's the most inhumane fucking thing we can do right now?
Yeah.
What's the most cartoonishly gruesome thing that we can do to dehumanize our enemy? History of war.
Bears.
Right now, bears.
Right.
We'll move on to nerve gas and other things like that later.
Right. Right now, we're gonna start with the bears, and then as our technology develops, we're gonna go ahead and get a lot worse. Well,
But
yes.
We might revisit bears in the future.
Right, we might. I mean, one of the most gruesome facts of World War II, gruesome is a relative thing, but it's just a fact, is that up until the time that we figured out how to use the B-29 weapons system effectively in aerial bombing, Japan, while, obviously hampered by our strategic bombing efforts wasn't really effective. But a guy named Curtis LeMay figured out that, you know what, high altitude bombing really isn't the way to go. We need to get in there real low and drop incendiary bombs, which is to say fire bombs on these Japanese cities, which are, after all, made mostly of paper and wood. And so in March of 1945, he and the 20th Air Force made a massive bombing run over Tokyo, low level, using fire bombs, incendiaries, and they burned about a third of the city to the ground, killing somewhere between 80,000 and 100,000 Japanese. It was the most, at that time, successful bombing raid on the Japanese homeland of the war. And by the time that we actually dropped the atom bombs, first on Hiroshima and then on Nagasaki, we were actually running out of Japanese targets to bomb. So, I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty atrocious.
I'm pretty sure the Japanese would have preferred that we drop bears.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, bears for sure. Bear all day.
Yeah, we're going to go with bears over incendiaries.
Yeah. I was just talking to Taylor the other day about how horrible World War I must have been.
Oh,
like, that was
God.
the worst. Well, I don't know about. It's hard to quantify exactly which one was the worst, but that one was definitely. It was at a critical point where we were still fighting wars in a brutal and savage fashion. Not like there's really a good right way to do it, but also at the point where technology was
Where we could document it.
where it was rising to the point where we could really kill people effectively.
En masse. if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah, en masse. So, in a horrible fucking way. Really, it was the gas, the nerve gas and the trench warfare. Just being stuck in a trench. You got to worry about the fucking gangrene and the rot boot on top of every time you fucking poke your head up too high, you get blasted.
And
also.
the rats. And by the way, the artillery barrages had
Yeah.
really developed by that time as well. Aircraft had started to come on the scene. It was a pretty hellish environment for sure.
Yeah, to like charge an enemy trench just running across no man's land, any fucking number of canister of any fucking horrible gas can come and disfigure you at best.
Mostly mustard gas, but nevertheless.
Well, they had chlorine gas too, right?
That's true. But anyway, the point is...
Either way, it was unpleasant.
Yeah.
Fucked you up.
Deadly and blinded you and so on.
Yeah. Fucking horrible. I was explaining, not that she doesn't know this, but I was like, that's the reason. Well, it was World War I, right? Where everyone came together after that one was like, okay, there should be a set of rules to how we do this, right? We can't be fucking gassing each other and shit.
That is true. And it is interesting to note that for the most part, there have been some notable exceptions, but gas warfare is considered to be outside the pale of civilized human behavior. And in fact, nuclear warfare is considered to be outside the pale of civilized human behavior as well. So, I mean, it is possible if you look at history to say, you know what, there are times human beings have come together and say, we're not going to fucking do this.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's hopeful, I think. That's a hopeful lesson.
Well, yeah.
Well, it depends on whether or not we actually follow it. But
Well,
yeah.
here's another fun fact.
Most
from
people
history.
do.
Another fun fact from history is that radium, which is, of course, a highly radioactive substance, was for many years used to illuminate various and assorted things, including watch dials, and it was considered absolutely harmless. And so, of course, radium is, causes cancer because it's radioactive. And that's what Marie Curie died of, was radiation poisoning, although she won the Nobel Prize for her work on radiation. But there were hundreds of thousands of people employed painting radium onto watch dials. And then, they'd wet the brush with their tongue and dip it in the radium. And
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean,
Well, same thing with all those people working with mercury. I don't understand how mercury came into making hats, but, that was the thing. That's where the term mad as a hatter comes from.
Yeah,
because
probably.
they were working with mercury so much, it makes you fucking crazy,
Probably has something to do with the felter, a lot of beaver hats. I don't know. Maybe it gives beaver hats a nice gleam.
Yeah.
Do you
There's
think
a
so?
lot of things that, we know about now that we just take for granted that we know it's bad. But this, Earth is so hostile. You know what I mean?
Well,
so fucking hostile.
Well,
you can't drink the water. You gotta if we didn't have all this shit, you would have to go to a mountain spring to drink untainted water.
Well, and even then,
And even then, you know.
microorganisms. Yeah, the whole invention of the microscope and the telescope, optics, big deal, because it allowed us to see things that are far away and things that are tiny. So yeah, let's hear it for optics. I think
Yeah.
optics are good.
Optics.
Woo.
Well, I mean, here we are. Sarah and I are both enjoying optics right now.
Oh,
Our
dude.
faces.
I think about that all the time about what the fuck. Like, because if I set my glasses down and don't remember where I set them down, I'm so fucked for like the rest of the day.
Are humans just gonna
Like-
go blind eventually?
Well, many do, but you mean as a species?
Yeah, like why does like a lot of people are born without the ability to see properly lately?
No, I could see fine, and then it degenerated. So
yeah, like at an accelerated rate. You know,
you don't have the numbers to back that up. That's just your
that's
observation.
you. I'm talking about you two.
Well,
And
no, but it stabilized once I hit my 20s. Like,
Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You are blind. If you don't have, you
yeah,
just said
but
yourself.
my shit. Okay, yes, but I'm saying that as a child, my eyesight was better. It got worse progressively, as you said, until I hit my 20s, and then it tapered off. So I've reached the maximum macular degeneration.
Well, I wouldn't say that's true. I mean, it could get worse.
Yeah, it just hasn't
Okay.
gotten worse yet. Look, all I'm saying is that, like, you know, over time, there's just, I feel like, going to be a lot of people, like, eyesight is just going to fucking get phased out, you know?
You mean
I
like
mean, I see what you're saying, but
replaced by machines?
Yeah,
Like,
just like, why do so many people need glasses? Like, and I'm not just need glasses, like, there's many people who cannot fucking, if we did not have glasses, you would not be able to see. And, you know, a lot of people are they're born like that. Happens a lot, you know? I guess it's
Again-
probably because there's so many people now. Like, there's just a lot of,
Sir, are you an optometrist? Do you have the numbers to back up the fact that you're just saying that more and more
No.
people are being born blind?
I'm not saying more and more people are being born blind. Do you not know at least 100 people who wear glasses? I'm like the only person I
But
know
that
who doesn't
doesn't
have to wear
mean-
glasses.
That doesn't mean that
Literally.
it's getting worse. It might mean that we have better screenings than we did 200 years ago and more availability to being able to have 20/20 vision. Like, there's no proof in the pudding that you know, that humanity's eyesight is getting worse. That's all I'm saying.
No, there's definitely proof in the pudding that when I go out into the world, I see
You-
a fuckload of people
Anecdotal
with glasses.
evidence is not
This is just plain facts.
applicable.
Are there not a bunch of people with glasses? Like a bunch, a lot, most people?
Why-
Do most
Okay,
people
whatever.
not wear glasses?
Well, I guess I don't. Yes, but to Sarah's point, that doesn't necessarily mean that eyesight is getting worse. It might mean that diagnosis of poor vision is getting better.
It could, yeah. But it could also mean my thing too.
Well, I guess we'll have to do a scientific study to measure it. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to exhume people from 200 years ago and then give them vision tests.
Exhume. The American pastime.
Exhumation.
So I will say this, though. I was listening to a podcast that said that humans might be getting colder.
What? What do you mean, body temperature wise?
Yeah. So long story short is that where do you know where the temperature 98.6 came from?
Oh yeah, the planet Uranus.
I was going to say our
Nice try.
butts.
No, actually, it came from your armpits. So
What?
so it came from a dude, and I can't recall his name.
Oh yeah, Sir Marcus Armpitius.
Yeah, sure. Who did a shitload of fucking temperature recording. So he was a doctor, and whenever he had a patient, he would be like, "Hey, cool, I'm going to take your temperature.
Yeah.
Sit here for 20 minutes because it's a mercury thermometer, and it's not like, you know, all that accurate or quick." So he took like over 500,000 temperatures, and it averaged out to 98.6.
So
And-
that presumably was the average temperature of the human body as recorded
Correct.
by Dr. Armpitius over several thousand millennium. Dr.
Right.
Armpitius, we're going
So-
to need you in Bay 1 for a special armpit reading.
That's right. But so that recently there was a study released that said, hey, 98.6 is not actually, might not be the most accurate temperature because it's an auxiliary or whatever. It was an auxiliary temperature. So taken outside of the body.
I see.
But also, uh, nobody's tried since he put the first data set together. So 500,000 people, pretty good sampling.
Not
But
bad.
but nobody's really tried since then to do a study on that scale. So that's what these people were doing. They're like, hey, it's been like 150 years. Let's check his work.
All right.
And
And
they
so
found that
they checked his work.
yeah, they're checking his work, and they found that the actual average temperature is about 1 degree lower. So now there has to be some more study into whether or not we are getting colder, or whether or not the original study had the bias because it was outside of our body.
Well,
I thought that
so,
was interesting.
or perhaps I've just had a whole lifelong fever my whole life.
Well, that's why it's significant, right? Because we use our baseline temperature as a indicator of sickness. So if we're 1 degree cooler, if our temperatures are supposed to be 1 degree cooler, then the fever point or whatever would theoretically be 1 degree lower.
Which
So
means, yeah. So, if you have a temperature of 99, you got a fever.
instead of, really, if you have a temperature of, like, I think they say 101, you have to go to the hospital, maybe. So then if you had a temperature of 100, hey, you should go to the hospital.
Oh, golly.
So
I think we
but
better.
don't quote me on that yet. The study is still in progress.
Yeah, for sure. So I hope they're using rectal thermometers exclusively.
That seems like a fetish, but okay.
I always thought that was the most accurate.
No.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it is a fetish then. Didn't know. All right. Anyway,
You learn
moving
something
on.
new every day.
Yeah, moving on from rectal thermometers. Although I will say that's interesting, because most of the time my temperature is actually a little lower than 98.6 myself. So I just thought I was cold-blooded.
Nope. You're
To go
perfectly
along with
average.
being so true on so many levels. So I read, and I was talking to you about this earlier, Sarah, that there's been some actual theoretical research on a faster than light propulsion system for space travel that looks like it might actually have some basis in reality. And it's based on the concept, and you're going to get into this, Nick, because it actually has a lot to do with the ability to control gravity. And so, all of the Bob Lazar spacecraft apparently had propulsion systems that were based on some sort of anti-gravity drive. And so the research that's being done that is supported by the detection of gravity waves in the universe posits that you could basically scrunch the space in front of you and elongate the space behind you without actually then distorting time in that process by manipulating gravity. And of course, it's theoretical at this point, but it is interesting to imagine a future in which faster than light travel was possible. And of course, many believe that it's already taken place. Not by us, obviously, but by other intelligent species.
Yeah, the alleged story there was that, well, I mean, who fucking knows about the veracity of any of that shit, but those things were powered allegedly by an element that we don't have that we don't have a stable version of in this fucking solar
Reality.
system.
Right,
Well, yeah,
I
like
guess reality is a little bit strong, but
it was this
our
thing.
current understanding of reality.
Well, and it also it might be like the composition of this solar system, like the planet that orbits Earth, or the planet that orbits the sun, Earth, is going to probably have different elements than like a binary star solar system that has different amounts of gravity and different amounts of, this or that, whatever element it is, the conditions might be different. They might start off, I'm saying the hypothetical other galaxy and or solar system might have different elements that facilitate different means of
propulsion. But think about this. The fact may also be true that we simply don't have the technology to synthesize that element.
Well, here's what it is that, yeah, so what they found allegedly in these fucking canisters that was the fuel for this thing was what they just arbitrarily named element 115. It did not exist on the periodic table of elements in 84 when they found it. Now it does exist on the periodic table of elements because scientists have been able to recreate element 115, but it's an unstable version, which means it decays, which means it's radioactive. The version of element 115 that they allegedly found in these canisters that allegedly power the fucking spacecraft is a stable version, which is not available to us in this solar system or galaxy because the elements are different due to the nature of
local conditions.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. So what's the point of all that? I don't know, dog. The point is that more and more, as we find out more and more, the universe gets to be a more and more interesting place. There's a lot more coming down the pipe in the future that we can't possibly imagine. Even in my lifetime, it's been extraordinary, the change. And it's only going to get better as long as we remember to wash our fucking hands.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, people.
Wash your hands. Don't kiss strangers on the mouth.
Or I think just not kissing strangers is a good idea.
Yeah, anywhere.
Yeah, at any point of the trundle.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Oh, okay. All right. You do you. Yeah. So I used the word trundle the other day. What do you think trundle means, Sarah?
What was the context?
Oh, we're going to trundle off to someplace.
Well, then it would be, like kind of like in a bus.
Sure. Or
Kind of like amble, I suppose.
yeah, some sort of movement. some
Yes.
sort of awkward movement is a trundle. But Nick,
I thought that it sounded like another word for taint.
That's because there's
My trundle.
That's because there's a Cards Against Humanity card called the Taint, it's the Grundle.
The Grundle. That's what it was. Yeah, okay. The Grundle.
The Taint, the fleshy fun bridge.
Yeah, the Grundle. Okay.
That's not a word. Grundle is not a word, but trundle is.
Is it really?
Yeah, trundle's a word. I mean, I've been
It's
using
a word for your taint.
no,
For the fleshy fun bridge.
no, that's not true at all. I don't think it's true. I think it's a made-up word, the Grundle. Actually, it sounds like a horror film. Coming this summer. Fear like you've never known it. Fear of the Grundle.
Oh, trundle bed?
Yeah, that's a whole thing too. Trundle. Here we go. With reference to a wheeled vehicle or its occupants, move or cause to move slowly and heavily. Yeah, so I said
An
awkwardly.
act of moving slowly or heavily.
Yes, to
So
trundle.
it's like a stroll. Yeah, okay. Fine.
All right.
Fine.
Wait a minute. Keep rolling down. Oh, yeah, and the fleshy fun bridge.
Oh, yeah,
synonym.
okay.
Okay. I guess I hadn't. Wow, I guess I stand corrected. And I'm both right and wrong. True on so many levels. Well, anyway, so enough about weird body parts. Don't kiss those.
Nah.
No, don't
Keep your
do it.
mouth to yourself.
Right, and then wash afterwards. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
There used to be did you ever watch Pee-wee's Playhouse? Used to love that show.
Of course.
Yeah, well, Phil Hartman, now dead, shot by his own wife, but Phil Hartman, famous comedian, was on The Simpsons and Saturday Night Live for years. But he played a seafaring captain who would show up from time to time. And I think his advice to Pee-wee is as good now as it was then. And it goes like this. A sailor travels many lands. He does what he pleases. But he always remembers to wash his hands so he don't catch no diseases.
I like it.
Yeah, well,
His other piece of advice was don't masturbate in public movie theaters.
well, he didn't give that advice, but he should have. We all know that now. Yeah, we sure do.
Because then Pee Wee Herman died in jail after.
He did not die in jail.
Yeah.
He's still very much alive.
No, he died in jail after jerking it in a fucking
No, he did not die in jail.
a jerk theater.
Well, he
He's
did.
been dead for years.
He died
Paul
in jail.
Rubens?
Yeah.
Paul Rubens is not dead.
Yeah, he jerked himself to death. And
That's not true. He appeared on Murphy Brown later.
you know what is weird is like he was at the fucking jerk theater and then everyone was like, oh, he was fucking jerking off in a theater. And I'm like, well, that's what you go there to do, though. So was 10 other guys in there. Why does it fucking matter that Pee Wee Herman was doing it? Whose fault? Someone had to follow him for that, Someone was probably just stalking him all day, waiting for him to jerk.
No, it was. Turns out it's not legal to jerk off in a movie theater. So even though it was widely accepted practice, they had what are known as vice cops infiltrate the theater and arrest everyone, and he was among those people.
Oh, okay. Well, Pee Wee's Playhouse.
At least that's the way I remember it when I showed up. Anyway, did I say that? Well, look, enough about Pee Wee, but the point is wash your hands. Yeah, that's the point. All right. So in other interesting developments, we're gonna go see a movie this afternoon.
Pee
That's it.
Wee's Big Adventure.
Uh-huh.
Are we in fact going to see Parasite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tickets are bought, yo.
Oh,
A human baby.
Tickets are bought. Seats are reserved.
well, and
We're
then
doing it.
I guess I would buy popcorn for all of you, but I guess that's just going to be for Nick and myself because it's Keto City for you guys, right?
Keto City.
Yeah.
So let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about this keto situation, shall we?
I mean, why not? It's fucking taken over my life, so why not?
Okay, so let's talk about it.
Popcorn's keto.
No, it is not. Nice try.
Meat popcorn.
Yeah.
No, I mean there is the
Popcorn
skin
chicken is
pop or
keto.
whatever. Shut up. No, it's not.
What?
No, because of the breading.
Well, you could just, make the shape of popcorn chicken and just grill it.
Well, you would air fry it. I mean, you would basically
guess
be
you
a
could do that
popcorn
too.
tendy, is what it would
You
be.
use pork rinds as your breading and almond flour if you feel like spending the carbs. But here's the point.
Yes.
The point is that there's skinny pop that you can buy that has some carbs in it, but it's all about,
Complex
spending
carbs.
your carbs wisely, right? Like it's the same
Right.
with fucking counting your calories, except now you're only counting to 20 carbs.
Ugh.
So, well,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
so some keto blogs recommend less than 50 and you'll be fine.
What about whole
the
grain
hardcore-
wheat bread?
No,
Nope.
that's right out. No,
Nope.
you can't eat any carbs to the extent that you can.
Yeah.
I mean, virtually
the main
no
thing
carbs.
is that the main thing is that you're cutting out sugars, right? Because sugar, your body is tuned to run off of complex carbohydrates. So keto, the whole idea is to cut out those complex carbohydrates so your body instead burns fat. So if you have lots of extra fat like me, then keto will hopefully help you bust some of that fat. So that's the whole idea. And but to facilitate that, you have to fucking not eat carbs. So, and throw your body into crisis mode so that it then eats fats instead. And all of that means is that it's like counting calories, wherein you read the nutrition label a lot, and then you put everything into MyFitnessPal and count up carbs.
Yeah, so it really does sound like counting carbs with extra steps. I mean, counting calories with extra steps.
It is. I mean, it's not even that many more steps. It's just I'm looking at something else. And honestly, it's because MyFitnessPal is geared towards counting calories that makes this a little bit more difficult. You can buy the premium version or whatever, and then they switch it over to count macros instead of calories. But I'm not fucking spending money on shit like that when I can just do the work myself. So,
Spoken like a true engineer.
sure.
Yeah, I make things. All right. Anyway, I do it myself.
I make things more difficult for myself, maybe.
Well,
which
perhaps.
that's an engineering thing.
So far you've been on keto now 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
How you feeling?
Fine. Murphy says she feels better, more energetic, which is something that people say that they feel. I mean, I don't really feel all that different. I feel like it's probably negatively affecting my cholesterol and blood pressure.
Oh, you
but
think
that's
so?
why you do it for the short term. Well, for example, Murphy's resting heart rate is like 50.
Oh,
like,
that's
she's
low.
got a really low resting heart rate. Now
Yeah,
mine
I'd
is
say.
closer to 70.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I don't know. I am more aware on keto of my heart rate. So to me, that indicates that it's been faster and higher, and which equals bad.
Yeah, my resting heart rate is about 180.
Jesus, holy shit! How are you not dead?
I'm just kidding. It's not 180, but it is 90.
Ooh, that's pretty high, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you need to quit smoking, kid.
Yeah, I'd recommend that.
Duly noted.
And disregarded.
Well, you know what? I've been having these conversations with various friends of mine for decades, right? About how difficult it is to get healthy and stay healthy. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many, we live in a modern society, right? And so there's many, many choices available to us, which give us instant gratification and instant pleasure. And health is all about delaying gratification, delaying pleasure, or avoiding certain substances and things altogether that create long-term effects, but create short-term pleasure. That's really what health is all about, is delaying gratification, instilling discipline, all the shit that human beings with addictive personalities really don't dig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's
We're creatures of simple pleasures, and simple pleasures are cheap and easy to make these days.
yeah, it's just easy to get and cheap to go get some fucking McDonald's. You know what I mean, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, McRunza.
Taco Bell. Taco Bell's your friend if you're broke.
Oh my God, yes. The cost per calorie can't be beat.
No, can't.
Yeah. So, that's that.
So there's that. But also, yeah, it's, you have to, well, you don't have to do anything, but, at a certain point, if you, I don't know, like you got to sit down and ask yourself what you want your quality of life to be. Because when you're young, you don't, it's whatever, but you start to get older and then you really realize that you kind of only got the one body, and damage. I feel like the damage you do to your body is multiplicative, but the good things you do to your body is additive.
I like that.
Yeah, well, there's multiplicative values and additive values in a lot of things. I feel like damage to your body is multiplicative, and, healthy things is additive. It takes a long time. It takes way longer to get healthy and way more effort to maintain the health than it is to just fucking fuck off and slide off the deep end.
True at first. Okay. So, but it's like anything else, right?
Well, you just need discipline. Once you get in the routine, maintaining the health becomes easier, but it's always easier just to fucking head on down to McDonald's and get you a double quarter pounder with ass with blood. Yeah, can I get a Dr. Pepper? No, here's a large container full of blood and ice in it. Because they got those fucking machines now where all the fucking different pops come out of the same nozzle, it just changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just tastes like blood.
What are you talking about? You're insane.
Sarah, back me up here.
It does not taste like blood. What do you mean it tastes like blood?
It's got an irony.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so there's been a number of fucking Taco Bells I've gone to where you go get a soda and it tastes like goddamn blood.
And
it's
Wendy's,
awful.
Wendy's too. Wendy's got that blood taste to it.
I don't know if it was just like a particular. I mean, this was I haven't drank soda really for years,
well, and I haven't drunk blood in years either. So.
Well, haven't you ever had a bloody
But you
nose?
never forget
you know
the
what blood
taste.
tastes
Oh,
like.
you never do. That accounts for my youthful appearance, my earlier adventures in blood drinking when I was a youth. Helps
Blood
helps
transfusions.
Well, there's nothing like the blood of a young boy or girl.
Nothing like the blood of a youth.
Right, to help maintain your own youth. So
Who's
in
that
any
bitch that did that, like
Catherine?
Lady Catherine or something?
Queen Catherine?
Catherine the Great of Russia.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought
that
it was
sounds right.
somebody else, but okay.
Weird facts of history that we just made up. Catherine the Great of Russia, vampire. Not everyone knows that.
Well, there was a queen named Catherine, I'm pretty sure, who had
she's like
a thing.
a baroness. Hold on, I'm looking it up. God damn it.
Okay, a noble of some capacity who kidnapped young girls, maybe young boys too, but at least
No,
young
baroness
girls.
who bathed in blood.
Okay.
Elizabeth Bathory.
Okay,
Countess Elizabeth Bathory de Aced was a Hungarian noblewoman and reputed serial killer from the noble family of Bathany, who owned land in the Kingdom of Hungary. She's been labeled by the Guinness World Records as the most prolific female murderer, though the precise number of her victims is debated. She had 4 collaborators, and they were accused of torturing and killing hundreds of young women between 1590 and 1610. The highest number of victims cited during Bathory's trial was 650. However, this number comes with the claim by a servant girl named Susanna that the court official had seen the figure in one of Bathory's private books. So that was, a journal entry, and they couldn't ever produce it. But they say that they were sadistic serial murders, verified by the testimony of more than 300 witnesses and survivors, as well as physical evidence in the presence of horribly mutilated, dead, dying, and imprisoned girls found at the time of her arrest.
And so she killed them to do what? Drink their blood or bathe in their blood?
Stories describing her vampiric tendencies, such as the tale that she bathed in the blood of virgins to retain her youth, were generally recorded years after her death and are considered unreliable.
Oh, I see.
So she just liked to kill women.
Okay. Well,
she's often compared to Vlad the Impaler.
300 witnesses and survivors, pretty fucking sloppy, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I mean, what a hack. There's no craftsmanship.
No.
Just do it right.
It's a prime example of abuse of power, right? She was a noblewoman and
yes.
she just
got away with
Took
it
the-
for so long
yeah.
that she's just like, yeah,
because
whatever.
she could.
Wait a minute. I've never heard of powerful people taking advantage of less powerful people. That doesn't seem right.
All right. Okay,
That
you
seems
ostrich.
ethically
Go
questionable.
ahead and stick
Sure
your
does.
head back in that sand.
I sure will. Well, we've got to wrap up because we've got to go to this movie. So I thought we might end the pod this week by this, because the top thing right now on Reddit is what's your favorite film quote? And the very first one that is the top quote currently is my favorite movie quote, because it's from Unforgiven, starring Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, and some other guys. But yeah, you all are familiar with that movie.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
Nope.
Yeah, I've never seen it, dude.
Yes, you have. You've seen Unforgiven with me. I know you have,
No.
because I've
No.
watched it many times, and every time I watch it, I quote it from beginning to end.
I have not ever seen a movie with Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood, and Morgan Freeman in it.
Ah, dude. Well, it's one of the great movies of the last 100 years. It's a great movie, widely regarded as the best Western ever made. All right.
Okay.
Well, fuck
And
it.
the quote?
The quote is from Clint Eastwood, and it's after he's already killed a young cowboy who cut up a whore. That's a whole different
I have
story.
definitely never seen this movie, but
Okay.
continue.
No way I've seen this movie. I would remember that.
But anyway, he says this to his young partner who's all shook up after his first killing. He says, hell of a thing to kill a man. Take away all he's got and all he's ever going to have. Great movie quote.
I thought
Who
that was from
directed that
Green
movie?
Mile.
Who directed that movie? Clint Eastwood. In fact, he won
yeah.
the Oscar for Best Director.
Yeah, that sounds like some fucking.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it just like that. Ooh, that's such a good fucking line. God damn, I'm Clint Eastwood. Now I'm gonna wait about 30, 40 years and make a movie where I say probably about 40, 50, 60 to 100 racial slurs in an hour and a half, and then just get blasted at the end.
No, you're thinking of Gran Torino.
Yeah.
All right. So in any event, here's another quote from that movie, which is another one of my favorites. So he goes in and he kills the bartender, right? The owner of the establishment, the owner of the whorehouse, essentially, because they allowed.
You can.
Because in front of the whorehouse, they captured one of his friends, Morgan Freeman, and they tortured him to death. And then they put him on display. Oh, yeah, man. It's a dark, dark movie. And then they put him on display in front of the bar with, this is what we do to assassins around here. So he walks into the bar, and he says, who owns this shithole? And then Skinny walks up, and he says, well, I own this. I bought it from... And he says, oh, you better stand aside. And he shoots him dead. And then Little Bill Daggett, the sheriff, played by Gene Hackman, says, you just shot an unarmed man. Then Clint Eastwood looks up from his shotgun. He says, well, he should have armed himself before he decorated his saloon with one of my friends. Great line.
But Gene Hackman is the
Sheriff.
he's the antagonist.
He is the antagonist because Little Bill Daggett is a son of a bitch of a sheriff.
Okay.
Anyway.
I was thinking of I know you said Gene Hackman, but I was thinking of Gene Wilder.
But they're very different people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got any favorite movie quotes?
You put me on the spot like that. I'm really honestly not sure.
Well, I
You
know, but
quote
I-
a lot of shit though.
Yeah, but I thought a lot of time for you to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I didn't
But I
take
was
that
so
opportunity. I was
enraptured by your
listening.
story.
Yeah, I was listening to your story.
All right, that's fair enough. Well, while you're thinking about it, I'll just share one other one. This is from Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Oh, that's
If I'm
funny.
not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
Okay.
That's a classic.
One of my favorite quotes from a movie would probably be the whole exchange between King Arthur and the mud farmers in the Holy
Oh,
Grail.
yeah, that is a good one.
Look, supreme executive authority is derived from a mandate of the people, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Anyway, so yeah, any basic quote from the Holy Grail is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can't think of one, can you, Sarah?
No, I'm a wee bit distracted, so
Oh, really? What are you doing?
I'm working on where the fuck is the recipe.
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so that's some personal news. You're working on a new website
Well,
called...
let's not blow our load. just
Okay,
yet.
all right, fine.
We're working on it.
All right, well...
We'll reveal it when I actually have some shit up there. So
A future announcement on a website forthcoming that's going to help keto lovers around the world.
Well, yeah.
Mm. Really,
just anyone
anybody
who
who
wants
has to
any
cook.
kind of fucking recipe.
Any recipe.
But you bought the domain name, so that's that's okay.
Yeah.
That's the start. And the interesting thing about this website, it's going to be brought to you by the Church of Universal Energy and the Infinite Multiverse. That's right. The Church of Universal Energy and the Infinite Multiverse, proud sponsor of a future website about recipes and a proud sponsor of a Shin show. That's right. If you have spiritual questions, get on over to the Church of Universal Energy and the Infinite Multiverse if you can find it. Failing that, just go ahead and send all of your money care of this podcast and we'll square you away. All right. Well, I guess that's it. We got to go to the movies.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, we got to bounce.
All right. Love you, kids.
Love
too.
you.
Bye.
Oh, hang on. Wait. Before you sign off, let me just finish this up. This has been a Shin show, a Shin show, a Shin show. You have listened to a Shin show, a Shin show, a Shin show. This has been a Shin show. It's a production of Shinfluence. It features the voices and opinions of the Shin family, which are entirely and exclusively their own. Brought to you on a fake basis each week by Ziff's Fine Dining in Invercargill, New Zealand, and by the Church of Universal Energy and the Infinite Multiverse, and our one listener, Chris. Be sure and join us again next week when we'll hear Sarah Shin say,
You want to buy some sundials?
sounds like a movie quote.
Excellent.
See you next week.